There's what they call theistic Satanism,
Yes, yeah.
which is Satan as an entity. There's something that's called in the occult we call it egregores. Egregores is the actual manifestation of a belief.
Okay, yeah.
Allah is an egregore, Jehovah is an egregore. As long as there's many people in the world who believe in one thing, that thing has a representation, astral representation, or
Yeah.
whatever the name. And so I do believe in egregores, and I do believe in the egregore of Satan. So for me, it's not only a spiritual or philosophical concept, it's also a very real entity which I can communicate with. And it's not only one entity, but several aspects of the human mind, and several aspects of my mind, which I represent as
Yeah.
entities which I can interact with.
Yeah. So like with that, with I think at the moment, just with where like I've been at, where I've been doing the kind of paranormal thing for the last 3 years or so, and I've learned so much over that time, and also learned how closed-minded a lot of people are in this kind of community. So I
Yeah.
stay out of the communities, do my own
Mm.
thing, whereas
Yeah,
a
it's the
lot of
best.
them they try to just go straight for the like love and light and think it's all angels, it's all roses, it's all pretty, but it's really not. You know, there is a dark the two where there's light, there's dark. Whereas me, I don't want to fear that. I would much rather understand it. Because if you
Exactly.
there's a quote from there's a quote from Star Wars which kind of brings it in a bit better perspective for me. Whereas if you're going to understand something, you have to understand everything about that subject. So,
Exactly.
like, would you say that it's much better to have a more rounded understanding than just one narrow-minded pathway?
Exactly. What one concept behind the left-hand path is the black flame.
Yeah,
And the black flame is that flame inside you that you nourish through knowledge. And there's nothing more important than knowledge when you're following um, a spiritual path. And there's nothing more important than nourishing that black flame inside you.
yeah,
And this is why Lucifer is called the bringer of light. It's the light of the black flame. Um, there's nothing worse than just blindly believing in one single dogma and not even trying to find out other paradigms. For example, I incorporate in my belief system um, bits and pieces of Shivaism, Santa Muerte,
oh,
Santeria.
yeah. Actually, I
Yeah,
have some more right here.
exactly. So those are the things. Plus, for me, the only very real entity that I have felt physically around me is death, the Grim Reaper. This is the only spiritual entity which I ever had a connection with.
Right.
And I have felt her presence everywhere I went in my life where I was um, having to deal with corpses, or it's something that for me is really real. And if there is a God for me, and if there is an entity, it's death. It's the only one that I in my soul and in my gut I feel is real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, there's so
So
many paradigms. There's so many different things. Satanism, I feel a connection to it, of course, but it's more um, it's uh, less powerful than my belief in the entity of death. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mm.
with Satanism, I personally love what Satanism represents, and there's so many different depictions of
Exactly.
the devil, but it only comes from one side. So with
Yeah.
Christianity, is where um, it's kind of creating a evil image of of a being Satan, but it's the same image which they created, which doesn't make much sense to me. So
You know, all religions are about something that is called uh, I can't remember the exact word, but when it's you project human feelings and emotions to something that is by nature not human.
yeah,
For example, people will say that they have a love, that they feel love towards their pets. Of course, they do feel love towards the pets, but as animals, the animals don't feel the same towards their owners. It's a completely different relationship. It's a you know, and people project human emotions in other species or other things that
yeah,
are by nature not human, and it's the same with their gods. The Christians believe in God as a father-like figure
yeah,
who decides the rules and who decides who's bad, who's not, and who basically says what is right or wrong. This is totally human. The Vikings, the Greeks, each, each had their own god or goddess for different aspects of the human personality:
yeah,
love, war, hatred. So it's all about projecting your fears, your 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 basic human concepts in something that by nature or by definition is supposed to be beyond human. So this is why the only if I had to believe in a god, a an entity that has created everything and that will destroy everything, it would be more like a Lovecraftian god,
yeah,
which has absolutely no emotion and something that is so alien and so different from us humans that it wouldn't mind spreading COVID during 2020. See what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Um, so yeah, humans usually project their own culture and their own background and their own environment into the godlike figures that they believe in. But it's being completely limited in a way, and they never try to seek beyond. And I think it's important not to project your emotions and not to project yourself in concepts that are beyond you. You have to be
yeah,
humble. You have to be humble towards the powers of nature and the this universe that is too big and too complex for us to comprehend and to attach emotions to.